aorta extending into the left iliac artery. These representative measurements of the aneurysm. Given the extent of the aneurysm, in this case we elected to perform endovascular repair, and for this case we chose the branch graft. For the branch graft, as you saw, many options today: the fenestrated, laser fenestration. This is another option for the thoracoabdominal aneurysm. You have to go through extensive sizing and planning, and accordingly you choose the stents. You have to keep in mind the sizes of the aorta, landing zones, certain diameters in certain parts of the aorta, as well as the visceral vessels diameter and takeoff. Just a little bit about the device. In this case, we use the internally branched EVAR provided by Atrevion, which previously Jotic, I believe. It has the stent is the stents over the graft. They have two types of stents: flexible stents proximally and distally, and much stronger stents in the middle. Proximal sealing zone between 38 and 33. You see on the next picture the branches of the graft that are actually pre-cannulated through catheters. Those catheters are the diameter 0.35, however, you have to cannulate them with 0.18 wire for the inner diameter. And it has 4 branches, which comes in an oval shape that provides you with a lot of room for different angulation of visceral vessels. So we didn't have adequate landing zone proximally or distally. For that reason, we decided to start with first a TVAR. So in a standard fashion, we perform TVAR, and you see, sorry, I can go back. I think I can't. Okay, we performed in standard fashion the TVAR to provide proximal sealing zone. And at the same time, we were talking, since this is a symptomatic aneurysm, which I would like to hear your thoughts later on, can we do it in a staged fashion or not, given the extensive coverage. After the deployment of the main body, which, sorry, we missed in the previous slide, through the catheters, we introduced 0.18 wires that snared through the left subclavian cut down and exchange into catheter that advance into the branch that you need to be stented. Over that, we had a 12 French sheath in the subclavian artery. 7 French sheath is introduced over a stiffer wire, and then the stent is introduced. I don't think the slides are moving forward. So we started with the SMA vessel. We confirmed the selection, introduced the sheath, and placed the stent. Then we moved to the right renal artery. Again, we selected the branch and stented it. As for the left renal artery, so we had a challenge that the renal artery bifurcated immediately after the orifice, not leaving enough landing zone to save both branches. So based on the CT angiogram, we decided to proceed with the upper renal artery, which provides about 70% blood flow to the kidney. And you will see this obvious after the stenting. That's not all the kidney perfused. Next one was the celiac artery. After selecting the splenic artery and confirmation over Rosen wire, balloon expanding stent was placed. And this is the completion angiogram of the visceral segment. Then at the bottom, you can see that there is a endoleak because there was no landing zone distally, and the patient had 6 centimeter infrarenal abdominal aneurysm. Therefore, we decided to proceed with the EVAR, which was already pre-planned. And in a standard fashion, we performed the EVAR, and this is the completion angiogram that showed the